Thank you everyone for being in this meditation together. Thank you so much. See, and then it's like, what is there to say, huh? What is there to say? We we start to remember the forgotten song. We start to remember this other place together, and the remembrance is a present a remembering, and that is so lovely. Like it's alive in this moment. It's not happening any other time. But words don't cover that at all. So it is really your experience that always counts, isn't it? So that's so amazing. It is not because you come here that that is happening. It is not under my conscious control. It is not like I can do this. No, you can't. You don't have to. So it's given to you by you for a moment stepping out of the way and seeing that absolutely it is always there. You can rely on it. So that is really like a bit the idea of today too. Like I send out the PDFs with the perspective the additional 4 steps that came up to share with you. And this is step 12. Then the last step is home. Where else would it end? Like then it's not an end at all. So that's an interesting idea. It's like we actually talk about a place that you know, that you never left, and at the same time you have moments that you don't feel that at all, that you think that you're separate or that you're locked in space and time, and that you there must be a way out of it, but sometimes you don't know where to find it, and all this. So this is the program. This is where we're here to remember that there is a place called home, and that there is a place called a heaven within you, a kingdom within you. So at least we start to remember the place where we can find that. See, and then when I start talking like this, I feel this whole, say, spatial reference coming up. It's like there appears to be a spatial reference to our being, which isn't really. But it's like you can have that idea that there's a continuity in time and space, that you live here some time and you do all kinds of things. In your dream it might appear that way, but and that's not, has nothing to do with your reality. So coming back to, like we just practiced in the meditation, in the time that we spent in quiet together, like you see actually that the time and space idea are coming together. More like it collapses in on one another. If you allow that to occur, if you don't defend yourself against, like, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to let go of that, if that's good for me, or if that is working. Or maybe you're just shifted out of it for just a moment, not having any control over it anyway. And you allow that to occur to you as a joyous occasion of having a different experience of yourself. So these are options that you have. So now we come to this many times in our meetings, and that is the transition, going from this apparent spatial reference we call objective reality or your world, or and going to a new idea about ourselves as an recognition of the truth of who we are. There seem to be like the two worlds don't meet, but there's help along the way. We discovered that too. It's like there's help along the way. So in order to come in touch with that help, you start to recognize, like, well, I have to be willing, so to speak, to find that place. I have to be willing to go that way, and I have to persevere in it, and I have to forgive the people that are where I think of as my spatial references, like other beings, other bodies somewhere that do something with me. I have to forgive myself the idea that there is such a thing, that there is literally nothing outside of me, but recognizing that the start of what I perceive is me. Like I'm the source of what I see. That's just a reflection of the thoughts that I'm thinking, whether I'm conscious of that or not. But the thing that I'm doing is projecting outside of myself, because I'm not used to taking full responsibility for what I see. But now, since we're practicing this and entering into say a 12-step program, in fact 8+4 program of coming to know yourself, or entering toward going in the direction of Christ vision, you recognize that there's only one of us, there's only one Christ, there's only one source, and you are a whole part of that. You cannot not be a whole part of it. It's completely one with you in the truth of who you are. Going from your spatial reference, as I call it now, it's like your spatial reference, thinking that there's a timeline, that there's say being born, living for some time, and then dying kind of idea, related to a body that appears to be separate. Seeing that changes when you allow a new vision to come to you. Seeing that had nothing to do with you. So now, having guidance along the way is then really helpful. And actually, I want to start with using in fact a metaphor to explain that. Like if you take a look at your, say, life, your existence, that what you see during your day, you see that's a chaotic movement of many subjects, many bodies, many cars, many airplanes, many, you name it, many dogs, many cats, many animals. Like there's an incredible movement of all these spatial things. You could call it chaos, right? You would not know where anyone is going. It seems to be all happening by itself, and it seems to have no relationship to you whatsoever. Like it's a complete chaos. So that's one thing. So if you look at the idea, and here's the metaphor then, if you look at the idea of a pilot in a plane trying to, say, maneuver its way out of the airport and going somewhere in a specific direction, it has a control center. It has an actual, say, communication system, and where it starts to say, talk like, okay, is this the right time to take off, or do I have to wait for some other planes to come in first? And you know from your own experience that one should listen to that. One should listen to that. So you can also say, like, okay, so I'm in this plane, and I hope that the pilot will listen to that, because otherwise I will become afraid of what is going to happen. So it is obvious that it's important to connect first with the control center. Well, in your life, in your spatial life, as I call it now, is like your existence, you sometimes forget to ask for help, for guidance, and you think that you know where to go, while you know outside there appears to be an incredible chaos, right? Things and people moving in all kinds of directions with no intention that you know of. So how could you maneuver through that, even spatially? How could you maneuver through that without colliding into one another? Or knowing where to go in this chaos? How would you know where to go? And of course you have your, say, set places where you know, like, okay, if I go there, I can do this. If I go there, I can do that. But see, there there's, yeah, it would be a nice metaphor to use for the idea, like, in my life I have no idea where to go because I don't know the plan of this scheme that I find myself in this spatial reference that I'm encountering. I don't know my way. I don't know the plan that's behind all these appearances. I have no idea. So admitting that and asking for help will give you guidance. And so it's not then necessarily that you have to be completely awake or completely illumined in a certain sense. Like, that is not necessary in order to receive guidance. You can ask for guidance, right? Everyone can do that. So that means you can do that too. It's like, starting today, ask for guidance before you go somewhere. Because, yeah, if you keep it open, if you have to go, or if this is the right time to do it, but ask first, like, am I supposed to do this now? Then if it has to happen, it will happen. You will feel yourself move to it. But if that does not happen, then you stay. Then you don't have to do that. Then that would be the best thing. So the tendency to be, say, a doer, or the tendency to think that you know where to go, what you do in the places where you go, is one of the things that keeps you very busy. So you think you know where you go, for what reason, and what there is for you there. But in actuality, like in fact, that is not true, because you have no idea. You don't know what is the best for you, and you don't know what is most helpful to you, because you don't know the plan. You don't know the plan behind all these appearances, and you don't know, say, for start, you're not completely in touch with who you think you are. At least that's what you think about yourself. So that's why this, say, comforter or guide or teacher or however you want to call it, is given you. It's literally like, this is your Holy Spirit. You can ask for guidance, you can ask for where to go and what to do in every moment, with every decision that you think that you have to make. And the great thing by doing that is that it saves you a lot of doing and a lot of time. So you don't have to walk behind every idea that you have, what you think that should occur, or how you think you would solve your problems. So that is good to know, that for one thing. But you can practice it, start practicing it today. And that is so lovely. All right, so this is great. I'm going to pull up another sheet. Just I have a couple of say phrases I want to share with you, and they're all related to, in fact, coming home, your home, your true home. And there are some, and that's why I use the first one the way I do. It's like the first one is really like an admission, like, well, this is actually where I find myself. And I start with that just to give you the opportunity to say that to yourself. In fact, it's like, oh yeah, this is I don't know, like, and the value of that is that you in fact become open to receive different information than you used to. So that's the purpose of sharing these, not for any other reason. So we have here a forgotten song. Oh yeah, so here, this is one of the expressions. We speak today for everyone who walks this world, for he is not at home. He goes uncertainly about in endless search, seeking in darkness what he cannot find, not recognizing what it is he seeks. So this is like the admission. We speak today for everyone who walks this world, for he is not at home. He goes uncertainly about in endless search, seeking in darkness what he cannot find, not recognizing what it is he seeks. So we speak today for everyone who walks this world, for he is not at home. He goes uncertainly about in endless search, seeking in darkness what he cannot find, and not recognizing what it is he seeks. By just this single expression, in fact, you could obtain vision, because it is like recognizing that you don't know what you are seeking, what you're looking for. You don't know what you're looking for. You're groping about in darkness, trying to find what you don't even know how it will look. You know, this is the human condition, but this is also you in your spiritual path, thinking that your solution will be in your conceptual idea of yourself. Literally, that you can say, think your way out of this, and that's not possible. So this is, yeah, exactly. It's like a fish seeking water, if you want to use another metaphor. A fish seeking water. It's like it cannot find it. What is it? Where is it? That's a great one too. It's like, yeah. So try to find something. So you can exercise this today too. It's like a very practical exercise. Turn off all the lights in darkness and try to find something that you know you're missing. That would be the same thing. Like, yeah, there's no hope of you finding that. It is simply not working that way. So that's one part of this expression. So the other part is that you don't know what you're looking for, but that doesn't mean it is not there. So this is then in the miraculous part of it, is if you start to recognize that you, say, are searching in darkness but no longer want to do that in that way, you admit to yourself there must be something else, this cannot be it. Then there's also, like, you put your faith in something else. And we saw this the other day too. It's like the miracles first taken on faith. So then there's a possibility of something else. And this something else might be a surprise to you, because imagine that you would suddenly feel connectedness, love and joy flowing through you. And you have like, oh my God, what is this? I'm actually having a whole different experience of myself. It was not at all what I was looking for, but now it happens. It is so familiar to me. Well, see, you cannot think your way out of your own containment, so to speak. So this is a very interesting part. And that's the same as we meet here, and that's why I bring in the spatial reference one more time. It's like, when we meet here and say align our purpose to the one purpose of, yes, I want to remember who I am as one, then you literally enter into a different space and time. You come to the point where the two are one, you know, where the two seem to fall into one another. And that's why you might feel really good when you come to this meeting. It's like, oh, I feel so at home, I can't believe it. It's like, I don't know what it is exactly. Well, it has everything to do with this. And that is really like the collapse of the space and time into this moment, suddenly recognizing that there's a recognition that has nothing to do with the place that you found yourself in a moment ago. That is the difference. And so that's what we practice, and enjoy that. Take your time to deeply dive into that, because it will it will start to follow you no matter where you go. It's like you take it with you. The more your certainty grows, it's like recognizing it in one, you remember it for everyone. And this goes on and on. This spreads. It's literally like the light spreads and say expands. And that is so great. So you suddenly you sit by yourself and you come into an experience of your connectedness while you're not in a meeting or anything like that. Suddenly it comes to you as an experience. And you feel connected. And you might even get a response, and recognizing your brother, recognizing that you're one with him or her. It's like that is a real possibility that you would not have thought possible. But this, in all its simplicity, but in all its incredible joy, is all that's being offered, in fact. So it's so familiar to you is what I'm saying.